I always say find your adventure, but sometimes the adventure finds you. Today is one of those days for me. I have a very good friend who has a very good friend who is being honored with an exhibit at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Lourdes Portillo is a Latina filmmaker, journalist, activist, and artist. The Academy of Motion Pictures is the organization that does the Oscars. The museum is opening an exhibit on Sunday called Significant Movies and Moviemakers, and it's featuring Casablanca, Boys in the Hood, and Lourdes Portillo. There are two private events scheduled for tonight. Now, no one outside of the curators has seen this exhibit. So tonight at 5:30, Lourdes and a handful of guests will get to see this exhibit for the first time. Then at 7 o'clock, they are having a private reception and preview for a larger group of privately invited guests. So my friend has driven down from San Francisco for the event, and she has invited me to come as her guest. I'm so excited. When I lived in San Francisco, my friend and I were partners in crime. We went to theater openings, art openings, dinner. I mean, we did so much together. And then when the pandemic hit, I moved back down here, and I have seen her only once in the last 3 years. So this is going to be really exciting. All right, let's get on the road. The adventure awaits. From the parking garage, you take the elevator up to ground level, walk between two of LACMA's buildings, and then enter through the back of the building. We got checked in and took a look around on the first floor. Fanny's is where the reception will be later. At 5:30, Lourdes arrived and greeted her guests, who were also her family. Then we proceeded to the exhibit. So I am here at the Academy Museum at the Significant Movies and Moviemakers exhibit, and they are honoring three groups. We've got Casablanca, Lourdes Portillo, and Boys in the Hood, and this first exhibit is the Casablanca exhibit. Casablanca is a 1942 star-crossed love story set in World War II, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. At the time, World War II was still ongoing and its outcome undetermined. Here's a true story. In the movie, Nazi soldiers begin to sing a patriotic German song. The character Victor Laszlo starts singing the French national anthem to drown them out, and he's joined by Yvonne and others in Rick's Cafe. Yvonne was played by French actress Madeleine LeBeau. Her tears in the film were real, because in real life, she had had to flee France with her husband to escape the Nazis. A number of the cast and crew were also in tears because many of them were also refugees. This photo of Jewish-Hungarian actor Peter Lorre is from a Nazi propaganda film attempting to portray the Jews as depraved. Lorre narrowly escaped Berlin in 1933. The exhibit contains other stories, memorabilia, and artifacts from the film. I'm wandering around the exhibit and I think I'm in trouble because they have come and asked me to leave several times. I'm like, no, I am with the group. Anyway, the second exhibit that you come to is Lourdes Portillo's group, and Lourdes Portillo's exhibit, and this is pretty incredible. It's impossible to overstate the impact that Lourdes has had on documentary filmmaking. She gave a voice to marginalized Latin American women, effectively challenging negative stereotypes and raising awareness about the social and political issues that affect them. She has a unique ability to blend personal stories with socio-political commentary, and that has had an immeasurable impact in expanding the boundaries of documentary filmmaking. What drove you to or inspired you to do documentary filmmaking?
Oh, because I knew that a girl like me, a Mexican girl like me in Los Angeles, I would never get to make a film.
Really?
I knew that.
Wow. But and yet you did.
Well, I started working with, educational film, and from there I really fell in love with documentary, and I started making it, and because it was accessible.
She was not only successful, she paved the way for Latina and other filmmakers from underrepresented communities to have their voices heard, both in front of and behind the camera. So tell me about this exhibit.
So I'm Sophia Serrano, and I worked with Lourdes Portillo on the exhibition that we're in right now. We have a range of items from her collection at Stanford, and then we did a lot of working together with different installation pieces. So for example, we have a Day of the Dead altar, which integrates pieces from Lourdes' collection that she collected in La Ofrenda. And yeah, we have a range of projects. So we have from her earlier films, After the Earthquake, we have Devil Never Sleeps, Las Madres de Plaza de Mayo, Señorita Extraviada, and yeah, we do kind of a two-gallery approach, and you kind of learn all about her career in key pieces, and it's part of our core exhibition, and it's going to be open until January 2025.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, how do you feel that she has affected the film industry? Like what her influence has been?
Well, there's just, even if you look at Las Madres de Plaza de Mayo or Missing Young Women, like these were films that were made way before people were talking about these issues, like before there was awareness on these issues. So I think, on the one level, she's always been so outspoken, such an activist, and so at the forefront of spreading awareness on these issues, but also, the blending of experimental and documentary modes, like the sense of humor that she has in a lot of her works. There's just so many ways that she is unconventional and unexpected.
This is a very simple exhibit of blue skies. When Lourdes was a little girl, she used to sit on the balcony and just stare at the blue sky and the clouds and dream about things to come. This was a total surprise. My friend Rebecca, who invited me here, designed this, and she was so surprised to see it. She had no idea one of her works was going to be part of this exhibit too, so pretty exciting. Once we leave Lourdes' exhibit, then we come in here to the third exhibit, which is the Boys in the Hood exhibit. John Singleton wrote Boys in the Hood when he was still a film student at USC. At 24, his screenplay was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. He was nominated Best Director, the first African American nominated as Best Director, and the youngest person to ever be nominated Best Director. The reception at Fanny's started at 7. They had champagne, food, lots of food, music, and a crowd of invited guests. At 7:30, there was a brief presentation about each exhibit.
Lourdes is an independent filmmaker whose documentaries blend experimental and traditional modes of storytelling to focus on themes of identity and social justice in the United States and Latin America. We are overjoyed that she and her family are over here with us tonight.
Then it was back to the party. I was so honored to be part of this event. The exhibit is on display through January 2025, so if you're going to be in LA between now and then, you should definitely check out the Academy Museum. I did a video when they first opened in 2021, so check that out next. Or watch my last video, the final day of my 5-day solo Palm Springs adventure.